So good afternoon, everyone, and thanks again for joining us. Today is part 4 of our social media sessions. I'm Sandra Watson, and I'm the events manager here at the Aurora Chamber. Today's session is all about maximizing free marketing tools and tactics. This session is brought to you by the Accelerate Business Recovery Virtual Hub, sponsored by Desjardins Insurance, and partially funded by Employment Ontario, the Government of Ontario, and the Canadian Government. I'm pleased to introduce our guest speaker, Holly Hoadley. So once an executive assistant with a side hustle, companies turn to Holly when they need business strategy, human-centric social media, and creative marketing solutions. Over the past 7 years, Holly has built creative solutions into a successful marketing agency by bridging the gap between strategy and fulfillment in the world of marketing. She leads a bright, amazing team of creatives and delivers rock-solid strategies uniquely tailored to each client's goals. We've been very fortunate to have Holly present the last 3 sessions, and I know many of you on this call today have joined us for those previous sessions. So thank you for being here for part 4. And right now I'm going to turn it over to Holly. So take it away, Holly.
Thank you. Yes, anyone that's been here before, I'm going to tell the same joke, so please laugh regardless. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're going to be talking about, there are some free tools. There are also paid versions of these tools, but we'll go over some ideas. Some stuff you may have heard about, some you may not have. So let's check that out. Feel free to take pictures and post them if you'd like. On Instagram specifically, you can tag Creative Solutions HQ, the Aurora Chamber, and business.recovery. We'll make sure that we all repost it. I know there's been a few posts, people just like taking screenshots and posting it on their stories, and then we've been reposting them as well. All the questions will be asked at the end. So I appreciate if you guys want to type them in the chat. We can also go back through the chat and answer those questions. Otherwise, we'll have a chit chat at the end. And these views are my own. Have to disclaimer that. There's lots of different opinions out there, lots of different tools out there. If you've heard of things that you also use, we can chat about those at the end as well. You can share tools that you use with the entire group so that they may be able to use them as well. So marketing tools. So we're going to start with the tools first, and then we're going to get into the free tactics that we can use to level up our marketing a little bit. So as you guys know, anyone that has been in any of the workshops, I love Canva, obsessed. All of these documents so that you guys can get this document as well. Everything is clickable, that's underlined. So you can go directly to the actual platform and check it out. So Canva is really amazing for graphic design people, I guess people that don't have graphic design skills that are also wanting to create content for their social media. You can do newspaper or newsletter layouts on here. You can do business cards, you can anything you can imagine. We use it a lot for social media, but we also do like even some website layouts just to get around the idea of it. This presentation was actually created in Canva as well. You can do a presentation like this, but you can also within your own home, for instance, on your own computer, you can click the record button. So you can record like a workshop or a webinar or something that you want to have pre-recorded and to either sell or to use for promotion. And you can record yourself through Canva as well. You can create PDFs that have links to go out, video transitions. You can do stories, anything you can imagine on the graphic design aspect, you can do within Canva. There is a free version, which is pretty good. The paid version just allows you to do more and to have access to more stock images that you'd be able to use for your own brand as well. The phone app, on the other hand, is meh. I don't know if you guys use the phone version, but I'm not a fan of the phone app. But I highly recommend trying it out. It's amazing. If you haven't tried it already, please do. If you already have, keep going. You're awesome. This is a tool that not a lot of people know about. The paid version of Canva actually allows you to remove backgrounds from images. So if you've ever had a picture that you want to get rid of the background and only have like you, for instance, with a white background or as a transparent PNG, you can do that in the paid version of Canva, but there's another free tool called Removebg. I know that looks like a very strange URL. You do not add .com at the end. That is the URL. Again, these links you can link out and you'll be able to find that there. So all you do is you upload an image, it cuts out the background, even around your hair, believe it or not. So her hair is all cut out beautifully on all the back, you can see it all in the PNG. So you will download it as a PNG and now you can put it on top of any background that you want. And it's a super quick, easy, clever AI tool that will save you a lot of time. That's a blurry picture and I couldn't find another one. So if you've ever wanted to share a post on Instagram to your Instagram page, so you've asked for permission, you're a really cute dog, you've asked for permission and you say, hey, can I use this on my own social? I'll make sure that I credit you. You can't actually do that in Instagram itself. So you have to have an additional tool called Repost App. Yes, it's a very clever name for a tool. It's a Repost app. It comes when you go to actually share, it'll have the photo or the video, whichever one you like to share, and it gives the credit to the original Instagrammer. So my very first workshop I did with you guys was on Instagram. If you haven't seen that one, go to the YouTube channel and check it. There's a lot of nuggets in that workshop. And within Instagram, you can share a post to stories. So that's good, but you can't share a post as your own post, right? So when a lot of people ask, should I put my caption and all my hashtags and everything, my hashtags with the caption area, or should I put it in the first comment? If you're feeling like your content could be reshared by someone else and they use a Repost app, for instance, they will be able to share the entire caption with all of your hashtags. So if you have a hashtag that's your brand recognizer hashtag, or if you wanted to add, a specific event or something, then those grouping of hashtags will only be reshared if it's with the caption itself. So if it's in the first comment, it will not be reshared. So keep that in mind as you're creating content and deciding whether you're going to put your hashtags in your caption or whether you're going to put them in your first comment. So this is a really great tool, especially if you're using a lot of user-generated content. Some people will just take a screenshot of the content and try and repost it, but the caption doesn't come along with that. So you might have tried that, or you could share it to stories as is, that's fine. But if you want to reutilize it, if you saved it, if you remember the Instagram workshop around saving those posts so that you can check back with them later. If you had saved them, you can then use the Repost app to then share it at a later date. So that's free and paid. When it comes to email newsletters, if you're using Shopify, so Shopify integrates, like a Shopify as a website platform, it integrates really well with MailChimp, and most other platforms do as well. If you're using a Shopify as your main website, I would recommend going to Privy, so Privy. It's a really great email. I know we're talking about MailChimp in a second, but Privy for Shopify very specifically, it does abandoned cart sequences. So if someone added an item to the cart and then they left, they would get an email, and you can set it during the timing. You can say 2 hours later, send them an email. You can send them an email and it'll say, hey, we noticed you left something in your cart. Did you want to come back? I'll give you 10% off. So personally, I do that a lot with big box stores. I'll go on like Adidas. I will go add something to my cart and then I'll leave. And then I'll get an email like an hour later telling me that I can save 10% if I come back. And I'm like, well, I was going to come back anyway. But it's a cool, fun trick that a lot of big companies use. You can also use that idea. MailChimp is good for everything else. So there's tons and tons and tons of different email newsletter platforms. I prefer MailChimp because it's super easy to use. It has great analytics. They have really beautiful templates. It's a drag and drop system. You can set up automation. So like, let's say someone signed up for your newsletter, you can send them an email. If there's like pop-ups as well, you can capture the abandoned cart sequences here as well. You can do, let's say you have a download on WordPress, for instance, like it's an e-commerce, WooCommerce platform, and someone buys something and you can say, check your email for the download. So all that can be done within MailChimp. Typically, you can use it as a monthly newsletter subscription type of idea. When you're considering your newsletter, just consider the point of it, right? So is it educational? Is it always selling? Is it informational? Just keep that in mind. So MailChimp is a fantastic platform. I believe you get up to, it's a free program if you have one audience type, as well as up to, I think it's 2,000 or 2,500 subscribers. So it can stay free. There are, every time you try and do something that in the free platform, it'll say, well, that's not, you can't do that. It needs to be paid for. So just consider that it's not that expensive if you decide to pay for it, but it is a free platform for us. And again, you ask questions at the end if you'd like. Just keep a note of those. Google Analytics. If you don't have this on your website, you should put it on your website. And so Google Analytics is an amazing tool to use as a bare bones analytics that will show you where people are coming from. So they hit your website. You can then see from an acquisition point of view, what other places is your website link and where are people clicking from to get to your website? So it shows you the analytics behind that. It can also show you how many people visit your website every month. Like you can do it by monthly or 7 days or, you know, over the year. You can check how long people stay on your website. So if you're noticing people only stay for 3 seconds or 5 seconds, you know that they're not getting what they need from the first page. You'll see there's a little bit of a chart that shows you a flow of, okay, someone got to your homepage, then where did they go? Then where did they go? Then where did they go? So you can actually see the transition of where people exit your website as well. It's an amazing, amazing tool. And you can just play around with it. There's tons and tons of YouTube videos on how to just set analytics up, like actually put the code on your website. This link will bring you straight to your own account. If you have a Gmail or if you've already have like a Google My Business page or a profile, then you will have access to a link or a code for Google Analytics. So you want to add it to your website and you want to just check it once a month, see how things are going. You can, this is like next level, which I do not do this either. You can even do like conversion tracking. You can see how much money people are spending if you set up those as goals. It's pretty robust as a tool itself, but the bare bones is checked where the acquisition comes from. So let's say you have a blog that you wrote for someone else, or someone did a Q&A blog with you, and your link on that blog on their website comes back to your website. That is a really good thing to watch to see how much traffic that one source is driving to your website. Could be social media, it could be your directory on Yelp, it could be anywhere, it could be your email signature. Where are people coming from? And so once you can track that, you can actually say, well, where should I be spending more time? So if someone, for instance, has a blog that they wrote about you and it's linking and you can tell that the traffic's coming from that source, maybe it's time to ask them to do another one, because they're obviously getting very high engagement on their blogs and their website. So maybe it's an opportunity to get people over to your site as well. Just keep that in mind for future. This is one of my favorite tools besides Canva. Placeit.net, and the link is here. So there's another website that's like placeit.net something. It's don't click on it. Click on this one. This tool will change your outlook on how you provide mock-up content for your social media. So let's pretend you have a t-shirt line. This may or may not be relevant to everybody. So you can put your logo on a t-shirt. So yeah, you're like, well, Holly, I could do that in Canva. I'm like, I know. But this actually has thousands and thousands of pictures and videos that are templated already for you, and you drag and drop your logo or your book design or t-shirt design. You can even mock up logos here. It is phenomenal to do mock-ups like that. If you don't have those kind of products, for instance, it might not be good for you. But if you do, this is fantastic. You can even mock up like the books, for instance, if you have a journal or a book that you sell on Amazon KDP or anything like that, then you can take that cover image, put it into a picture that already has a kid reading the book, for instance. So check it out just for fun, just to see if there's anything that you can do. You can actually even do, let's say you designed a postcard, and you can mock it up and place it on the side of a building. You can put a picture of yourself, like 2 thumbs up, on a billboard. It's super cool. Just check it out. It's one of my favorite tools. I literally use it all the time. And there's video components in there too. Facebook Creator Studio. So hopefully I'm not moving too fast for everyone. Again, ask questions. I can always go back to these slides as well. Facebook Creator Studio, there's a link that is going to bring you there. There's also an app. Okay, so Facebook, the metasphere, this crazy world that we live in right now, Facebook is constantly changing, and Facebook owns Instagram. There's a lot of tools out there to do scheduling. And prior to Facebook Creator Studio, a lot of people used to use like Hootsuite and Later and Buffer. There's a ton of them out there because Hootsuite was one of the only ones that had API access to allow direct publishing to Instagram. So not a lot of platforms out there could directly post to Instagram as a scheduling tool. You used to have to get a notification to your phone. You'd click on the notification. It'd say, are you ready to post yet? And you're like, yeah, I'm in the middle of supper, but sure. So you hit the post, it puts your content on, and that's how you used to schedule for Instagram. Super annoying. Now it's getting a little easier to schedule to Instagram. So I do have a scheduler tool that I'll talk about, but Facebook Creator Studio is free. And it's available to you. If you've linked your Instagram business page to your Facebook business page, you can post directly to these platforms and schedule. You can see your whole calendar. You can see previous posts there. You can actually manage your community management with this tool as well. And so I have a feeling the way Facebook has, shown itself over the last years is they might try and monetize this, which, I mean, they probably will. But right now it's free. It's free for you to use. This tool, you can check people's messages. So if they've sending you direct messages on Facebook or Instagram, all your messages will be in one spot. If they have comments on your posts on Facebook and Instagram, you can see them in Facebook Creator Studio as well. So this is a really good spot for you to be able to just see that one big picture. So you're not jumping back and forth between apps. There's another, before this came out, Facebook, if you have a business page and a personal page on Facebook, if you've ever tried to comment from your app on your phone as your business, it used to switch you to your personal. It was very frustrating. So an app came out called Facebook Pages. So Pages was something that you want to download in order to make sure that you're responding as your business and not your personal account, especially if you're managing multiple accounts. But Facebook Creator Studio is available to us now for free, and it does exactly that. So if you have the app on your phone and you have the computer version, desktop version, then you can use it in both places very seamlessly, actually. It's a pretty good app. Linktree. So there's a caveat here. Linktree, which I know I brought up in the Instagram one. So if you click on that, again, it's a weird URL. Don't add a .com there. Linktree. There is a free version that everyone uses. There's also a paid version. There are a ton of these coming out. There's Campsite and Card and a whole bunch of them. Linktree is probably the most popular one. You get to, on Instagram, actually anywhere that you put your website link, for instance. So anywhere that you put your website link, your Instagram bio, for instance, right now, what happens is when you have call to actions, so you're like, click the link in my bio to read the blog I wrote. You don't have that opportunity right now because all you have is one space for your homepage, really. So when people click on your website, they're irritated that they have to now find where your blog is and then find which blog you're talking about. And so they end up, you'll see on your Google Analytics, if people are coming from Instagram, that they're just leaving because they're just like, it's your homepage. Why didn't you send me to the blog? You told me it was there. So what people do instead is they create something like a link tree. And this link tree, you can have a vanity URL. So the vanity URL can just be like Linktree / creative solutions. This now allows you to have multiple call to actions. So if you say, read this, my link in bio, your link could actually be in the bio. This is because Instagram doesn't have the ability to create captions with a clickable link because Instagram wants you to stay on Instagram. All other platforms you can click and then go read your blog, but on Instagram you can't. You can in stories. And so people have been utilizing the stories with the link button now, which you could only get if you had 10,000 followers, and now it doesn't matter anymore. And that was just a waste of time. I'm bitter, but it's okay. So now everybody has access to it. I don't feel special anymore. But it's actually a really awesome tool. So now you can utilize your stories for links, but Linktree is a really good option. If you're noticing, if you have really good like design skills, or if you have, access to your website, I would personally don't do this one and actually create this look and feel of a link tree on your website. So it'll be a hidden page. That would be a very specific link that you would add to that spot instead of your website link. So it could look exactly like this. That's how we have it. So if you go check our spot on LinkedIn, on Instagram, you'll see that it actually goes to my website. Then it looks like Linktree though. It has multiple call to actions. So first and foremost, get people to your website by putting it on your website. If you don't have access or you don't have the skills to do that, then create something like Linktree. It's a really good tool for you to be able to use it. It is free. It keeps everything in one spot. Why stamp? If I have ever emailed you, you'll see how freaking cool my email signature is. If I have not emailed you, email me, I'll email you back. It's all clickable. There's a big picture of me. No, I didn't do a thumbs up in this one. I probably should. There's a picture of me on the right-hand side. It has all my information, but it has clickable links. You can do call to action. You can do video embeds. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's cool because there's this animation. So at the top of my signature, it actually animates and it looks like you're writing the word thanks. There's tons and tons of templates that they have, multiple call to actions that you can do. You can even put like a disclaimer on like, please do not print this to save the environment. Thanks. It's super cool. And you have the opportunity to add in, if you have a welcome, let's say you created a welcome video on Loom or a welcome video on Canva or something, you can actually share that in your email signature as well. And YStamp connects to all email signature email providers. So you have your Gmail, your Hotmail, everything that you can think of, YStamp actually links direct. So I use Google Chrome and I use Gmail. So on Google Chrome, I downloaded the extension. And so now it automatically populates as I go to send a new email or if I reply to an email. So I get nonstop compliments about my email signature. And then I was like, wait, I should probably talk about this more because this is a really awesome tool that more people should know about. I believe that it is free. I could be lying on that. And I think it might be $5 a month. So I will edit that and then redo it. So this isn't just what my email signature looks like. This call to action opportunity right here. So this is animated. This is what my email signature looks like. Every single thing here is clickable, right? So you can actually click on a phone number if you're on your phone or if you use like an extension. This call to action, I don't know about you guys, but over the years, I'm sure you've been trying to like book an appointment with someone or multiple people. And it's like, well, does Tuesday at 2 o'clock work? Well, stop that altogether. Stop it. Create something like TidyCal or Calendly. So TidyCal and Calendly are actually not in here. I should add that in. And so it integrates with your current provider, so your whatever email provider you use for your calendar, it integrates with that. And if you block something off in your calendar, like let's say you want to go for a walk at 2 o'clock, then apparently like 2 o'clock is like a thing for me right now. So if you want to go for a walk at 2 o'clock, then you block that time off, and TidyCal or Calendly will say she's not available at that time, book something else, and it'll show all the availability. So by putting a call to action in here, I literally just write back to someone and say, hey, can you please book this call instead of trying to go back and forth on this? So they just book immediately. You can set all your parameters around timing as well. And you can even, it sends like reminders, you can connect Zoom on TidyCal or Calendly as well. And what I've done as a secondary option is after 5 o'clock. So I only set my hours from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And at 5 p.m., we turn on an autoresponder. And I also put that call to action button there as well to say, if you can't wait for tomorrow, or if you can't wait for me to get back to you, just click here and book a 30-minute call. So again, reminder around call to action opportunities everywhere. If there's an opportunity in your email signature, add it. So Stamp is pretty awesome for that. Stock photos. I did give you guys this list, I believe, with the Instagram workshop as well. So Unsplash, there's a ton of different free and paid stock photo options out there. I use Unsplash all the time. Most of the pictures from here, which you'll see in the future ones, are actually from Unsplash. I use Pexels and Pixabay a lot as well, and Raw Pixel. So most of the items are free there. They are used for commercial use. So you can use them for commercial use. Just double check just the terms and conditions around the images regardless. So I say they're free. That's up until yesterday. We never know. Just double check the terms and conditions around it, because you never want to get in that situation. And the worst thing that you can do is just Google something and take that picture and use it on social media or use it for your marketing platforms. Don't ever do that. Never, ever, ever, ever. Always go to very specific stock photo websites that have commercial use written in there. Marketing tactics. If you guys have taken the Instagram workshop and LinkedIn workshop and the Google one, yeah, they all have their own unique set of tools and tactics that you can use within each of those platforms. We'll talk about some of the overarching tactics that are available to us for free. There are going to be stuff like, if you pay for ads, for instance, that's not free. Your management time is free, but the actual dollars spent goes into like an ROI situation, a return on investment. Whereas most of the stuff we're going to talk about are our KPI derivatives, so key performance indicators. So the way that I see it is KPI is for more organic things. What is the ROI of my business card? I don't know. It's a key performance indicator. How many did I hand out? How many people called me or visited my website, or whatever your metric is? When you're setting those metrics, just be very conscious of setting really smart goals. So make sure that it's measurable. Make sure that you can track it. Make sure that it makes sense for you and your business. Whereas ROI, you're going to spend money on something that you're expecting to have in a return on your investment. So ads very specifically, whereas organic social, even if you're paying someone to do it, it's still KPI specific, because you're actually just paying someone for a service now, and you can't track a return on investment for a service that you can do yourself for free. You just don't have time for it, or you don't have the know-how. So let's start by looking at what our sales process looks like. So again, we're going to talk about the tactics, but we need to go back to the psychology of our buyers. So what are you selling? Most of us are either selling a product or a service or both. You don't have any of these things. I don't know what business you're in, but that's okay. We can figure that out. But you either have a product or you have a service, or you're actually selling both. Where do you think your leads will come from or are coming from currently? This is not a test. If you guys want to type into the chat, please, by all means, do. Out of this list, where are your, I'm looking at all the comments. I should have done that. Where are your leads currently coming from? So if you guys can just type in the chat, mostly from referrals. We got referrals. You can look at this list. It can be something different as well. Word of mouth. Yeah. SEO. Ooh, interesting. Word of mouth. Anything else that's not on this list? At email, newsletters. Nice. Eventbrite. Eventbrite's a really good spot, actually. We should talk about that at the end. I'm going to write that down. Eventbrite. Everything plus networking. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So we kind of get in our own path, I guess. Like we do our own thing. People either come or they don't, or you're trying to do inbound marketing or outbound marketing tactics. You're either waiting for people to call or you're doing things that will proactively get people to come, right? So there's a lot of different tactics that you could try when it comes to marketing. So some of these are sales focused, some of these are awareness focused, some of them are, very specifically conversion focused, like webinars or sales funnels. Speaking engagements could be more around education and thought leadership. But when you think about where your leads are actually coming from, that people are coming from, can you amplify that? Are you able to amplify word of mouth? A lot of people will say, no, I actually think you can. So if you put a referral program in place and you remind people that you give money for referrals, then that is a very good word of mouth tactic. So it's not just people going, oh yeah, I remember someone did that for me that one time. I think it was so-and-so, we should give them a call. You actually have an entire plan set aside for referrals, very specifically for referrals. So with us, we actually only work based on referrals. We get a couple of calls from Google. We get a couple of people from social. Like it's not so, we don't really do a lot of marketing. Some speaking engagements, stuff like that, or podcast interviews, but it's not the majority of the business. Our majority of the business comes from word of mouth, strategic partnerships. So everything that we do, especially on our website, if you ever go to our website, you might feel like you don't really know us that well yet, but it's designed very specifically for our personas, which are coming from strategic partnerships and referral partners. So we put together a referral deck. So it outlines all the services, what's in it for you, how you can make money off of referring people over, and we build relationships. So we even in our MailChimp, for instance, we have additional audience that is only for referral partners. So all of our referral partners go into this email list, and I'll send a video to them once a month, or however often I can or want to, just on new things that we're doing, or a success story, or keeping them excited about working with us, not for us, with us. So strategic partnerships are a phenomenal way to grow your business, especially if you look for people first and foremost as a partnership over directly looking for clients all the time. And one of the best ways to keep your business running is obviously through strategic partnerships, in my opinion, also through working with your current network. So your current clients, your current customers. It's a lot cheaper and less expensive for you to work on upselling or cross-selling with your current audience than it is to find new clients all the time. I was working with one lady. She has a service-based business. She had clients, about 200 different clients that she just never really reached out to. Didn't really know how they were doing. And I was like, dude, come on, let's go. Let's send them a message like now, like let's tell them that you're open for business. Let's remind them they can do online bookings. And as soon as she did, she got 5 people sign up. And she wanted to focus on advertising. I was like, save your money. Hold on a second. So save your money in that regards, and let's send everyone an email or give them a call and ask how they're doing. See if they need your services again. They might not even know that you're open right now. So it was a huge success. But again, quick little free things that you can try to bring in business. let's look at the customer. So this is very different. So when we look at sales process versus buyer journey, these are two totally separate things, okay? And most of us focus on the sales process. And that's okay. That's what we were ingrained to do. That's what we were taught in business school. I didn't go to business school, but it's fine. It's what we were told. What do you have? So a typical sales process. This is most of us, like if it's a service-based business, I don't have one for a products-based business, but I can describe that. So I have something to sell and you want to buy it, right? I think, right? You want to buy it. So I have something to sell. You should buy it. I heard you wanted that. So normally what happens is we go into prospecting mode. So there's either qualified or unqualified people. So if they're qualified, you're like, okay, this might actually happen. So most of the time we send a quote. It either closes, or which you've lost it or you've won it. And then the actual service begins. So on the other side, you have, like, let's say a product, you have a product, you want to sell it, you're doing advertising, you're always constantly pushing out that this product that you have will save lives or change people's lives or whatever. It's still, you have a product and you should buy it. They should buy it because you know it's the right thing for them. They might not be ready yet. I'll go through the buyer's journey. So this is the buyer process, the buyer journey process. The customer needs something. And all we're doing is just flipping the script for a second. Let's look at it from their perspective. Customer needs something and you have that solution. So on the buyer's journey, when you start to think about who your audience is and where they are at their purchasing journey, they have to know about the challenge that they're having. They have to obviously first be aware of this challenge. I need a service or I need a product. I know I need it because of these things. So I have a bad back. I'm going to go look for things that might help. So what they're doing is they're exploring solutions, they're exploring the ideas. Now, this could be massage, it could be acupuncture, it could be medication, it could be a shaman, there could be so many different things of that person's mind of what they think is going to help fix their back. So what they're doing is they're exploring all the different solutions. And when they finally feel like they found something that they think might actually help, now they start comparing providers. So they're looking at the pros and cons of all the different providers or solutions that they have found. Then they decide to purchase. That purchasing decision doesn't mean it's with you. It could be with a totally different left field. Why do they buy that instead of my product or service? I don't get it, but it's their journey. They get it. So what has to happen is they have to experience, once they've purchased and they've experienced, it either worked for them or it didn't. And then the cycle repeats. So if they've experienced it, it was a good experience, they'll go back to that same provider. If it's not a good experience, they're going to start from scratch. They are aware of the challenge. They want to explore different solutions at that point, compare providers, make a purchase, and then experience it. So what I had mentioned earlier regarding the experience part, that is a massive missed opportunity within your organization, and not you guys specific, just most organizations in general. We go, yes, we closed a sale. Okay, moving on to next. Go, go, go. Take a minute and celebrate that sale. Because what's going to happen is you're going to realize that the buyer went through a lot to get to you. And even if they are referred to you, they're still going to experience and explore different solutions and make sure that you're the right fit. So the awareness of the challenge is the first part. The experience with you will keep them coming back. That right there will also help with word of mouth. If you're asking them at that peak of performance or that peak of their happiness for a Google review, for instance, remember we talked about that in the Google one, then you are going to get more successful business from your current clientele, your current customers, than you will from getting new customers all the time. So really, really focus on experience, ask them questions, send them surveys, give them a little percentage off, see how they're doing, ask them for referral, ask them for user-generated content for social media, video review. There's no harm in asking. They could say no, but that's okay. You'd automatically have a no if you didn't even ask them in the first place. So there's a big difference between our sales process, because we didn't know that they were going through all that stuff prior. We're just like, oh, they found us, yay. And they're going to sign on with us, yay. It doesn't always happen that way. There is a whole entire psychology side and emotion and empathy side that happens prior to them even getting to your door. The sales process can still happen, but only if you consider the entire buyer journey in their process. So let's move into the tactics around this. That had to be said because a lot of us just go, I just have something to sell and should buy it. I don't know why they're not buying it. So this is important because if no one buys, you don't have a business, right? So we don't want that. Buyers are way more informed than ever. They're constantly going to Google. They're constantly searching out. They're not just only listening to their peers. They're actually doing their own research as well. And it's based on their motivation. What part of their journey are they in? Are they only looking for service providers or products that can help them with their solution or the problem? Are they ready to buy? They might not be. So I had one client that had a $5,000 course, and they started just marketing as that on social media. And I was like, I don't think that's going to work, but like, do it, I guess. Like, if you're going to try it, try. What worked better, which we've come up with a solution for them, was to do a nurture sequence. So a nurture email sequence. And that sequence contained a lot of really helpful information to help the buyer understand their issue a little bit deeper, a little bit more. How the solution that they provided actually helped on a deeper level than just going to buy a cream for their back, for instance. So that information, that nurture sequence, isn't a sales funnel. It's not a sales funnel. It's a sequence of nurture emails that will guide them through their own journey. And what's happening is that they're going on that journey with you. So they're not being told what to do. They're being guided by someone like you that can guide them through that process. And no one likes to be sold to at all. Like, I don't know if you've ever, like, I think I mentioned it in one of probably all the workshops. You go to a networking event, you walk up to someone and you say, hi, I'm Holly. I sell websites. Do you want to buy it? Ooh, that's like, people will throw their juice at you. What works better is that if you're approachable, you're warm, you talk to someone, you're having a conversation, you really get to know the person. And that comes back to human marketing. So yes, most of us either do B2B or B2C, so business to business or business to consumer marketing. But what we're missing is that human to human marketing. And so human to human marketing, you're a person, they're a person, they're going through their own journey, you're going through your own process. Why not match that up to the empathy side of the conversation? So the buyer has a challenge they need solved, and your product or service is the solution. Are they looking for cheap and cheerful? Are they looking for someone near them? Are they looking for someone that takes insurance? Are they looking for a camaraderie? What is it that they're looking for? The more you go deeper into the motivation behind your buyer, the easier and better it will be for you to really narrow down on your marketing solutions and how you market to people. So the more you know about your clients, the better it will be for you to convert them, as well as have them as advocates, because now you're matching up exact people that should be your clients or customers to your exact solution, which is you're the right person for them. You're the right product for them. They just don't know it yet. So allow them to know that without trying to force them into sales. Not that you guys are doing that, but you know what I'm saying. So here comes some very big graphics. There are some tactics that you can do on social that will increase your visibility and increase your opportunity for conversions and conversation starters. Stories on Instagram. So there's stories on all platforms technically, but stories on Instagram are probably the most visible, the ones you can find the easiest. Facebook, you can see them and find them, but not a lot of people go there first. On Instagram, everyone goes to stories first. And that's generalizing. Let's just say 99%, just in case there's that 1%. So when everyone opens Instagram, the first thing I do, I know, is go right up to stories, those little bubbles, and I start clicking through, and then I exit, and then I go through my timeline, and I'm like, meh, okay, I'm done. And I go over to TikTok. That's just me personally. So what we want to have happen in stories is it's an opportunity for us to engage with our followers and non-followers. This is the fun part. When you were in the Instagram workshop, we had reactive versus proactive community management. And I'm going to go dig deep into that, because that's what you're really going to make a big difference using social media, is the community management. So on stories, there's two opportunities for us to be able to have meaningful connections and interactions. So one is to look at the stories that are already posted on social, and it's all the people that you follow, you're seeing their stories. You can also see who's live at the moment as well. And so on stories, you start clicking through, and if there is a sticker on there that you can fill something out. So if they've asked you a question like, what's your favorite way to drink hot chocolate? Marshmallows or not marshmallows? So people can actually answer, or like, what do you want to hear next week from us? If you do like shows or lives or anything like that. So you can ask questions. That question opportunity, if you fill that out, you now have an answer in their direct messages. So when they go to their direct messages and see a comment from you, most people will go, oh yeah, I remember them. Oh yeah. They'll come back to your profile. They might interact with your content. They might be a reminder that you exist. They might not have seen your content very much. If you're responding to them, they're going to see that you have sent them a direct message, basically. On the other side, it's your opportunity as well to be able to create conversations. So as you're creating conversations, you can do the sticker on your stories. So remember, stories only last for 24 hours. I'm talking about Instagram/Facebook, but mostly Instagram. So stories last for 24 hours, and they could be extremely interactive. And I highly recommend you try out every single sticker, every single thing that you can try. This little guy right here, the little top part, that's where your stickers are. So that's your text. You can download, you can add little emojis, you can scribble here, you can write on it with the pen tool, but this is where your stickers are. So mess around. You can do polls, you can ask questions, you could have a yes or no option. You can have this little line that if people like it, they can go all the way to the right. The more interaction that your content gets, the more Instagram likes you. So I would recommend really focusing on stories as a main option. So if you don't have a lot of time to create content for your regular feed, your timeline, I'd say focus on trying some stories instead. And they could be very quick things, like you can take a selfie, you can take a picture of your microphone, you can take a picture of your Starbucks water. I'll just take a drink. You take a video of yourself drinking Starbucks water. Anything that you think could be interactive or quickly catches their eye, you can use all of the Unsplash, for instance, for images. But just make it interactive. It's going to be a really big benefit. You'll see a really huge increase in your activity and awareness if you're using stories as a main focus. Reels. Reels now are overtaking the popularity. Everything that you can do on Instagram, Reels is taking priority. So Reels has a very short type of video. A lot of people will take TikToks, for instance, and create a reel out of their TikTok. And you can actually remove the watermark for additional app. Just Google like app to remove TikTok watermark, and you can. So people repurpose that content all the time. So Reels, I think someone just come off of mute there. You just mute yourself. I'm just going to mute you. Sorry. All right, good. So with Reels, they're really quick videos. I don't necessarily love Reels as much. It really shows your personality, and it can show the humanization behind your brand, which I do like. I don't like the pointing and the dancing and the silliness of Reels. I just feel like It's not really relevant to a lot of businesses. A lot of social media managers will use it for the aspects so people get to know them. There's a lot of people that would use videos like reels on their social that they don't really know what they're doing just yet. So it's kind of awkward. I would say try reels out. If you want to do a quick video, you can use an app called Boomerang. Boomerang is just like, you ever seen those videos where someone's like up and down? It's like a GIF. So you can use something like Boomerang to create a really quick reel, for instance, or you can do a video of you talking, anything like that, and create a reel. They're really heavily pushing reels in Instagram, and they're showing reels more often. So if you post a reel, you can see the preview on your timeline as well. And the same thing used to happen with IGTV. So Instagram had its own like TV channel that was trying to be like YouTube, and you can have long format videos on it. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Just there's not like dancing and pointing, and I don't know. I just have a thing. I don't know. Probably, and at the beginning, I did say this is my own personal opinion, and we can fight it out at the end. But yeah, try reels out if you want. There is a whole bunch of videos online on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of articles on how to utilize reels and even to start them. But I'd recommend just trying a couple out. It could just be, I did a couple for like a coffee shop. And you just took your phone and you took video and you sort of panned around, you put music on top of it. You try it out, see what happens. Oh, I just maybe unmuted someone. Geotags. Geotags are my best friend. When we get into, if you don't know necessarily what geotags are fully, I'd say go back and watch the Instagram video that we did. I think it was like, I guess it was the first one, the first of this 4-part series. So geotags, if you can see right here, this is an Instagram post. It says Newmarket, Ontario. This could be any address. So when you click on edit and you go to any of your current social media posts, for instance, and it says location, and you click on that, it'll pull up everything near the current location that you are currently in. So it could be a restaurant, library, anything like that. The geotag itself is great for you to be found. So if someone's looking for a specific thing in their area, if they're on Instagram and they click on that, it'll show all the top posts for that specific area and the most recent posts for that area. If you posted something, like if you had a restaurant and you tagged the restaurant and you put the location there in that geotag area, the restaurant now has that tag and they could use it as user-generated content. So the geotagging area is good to be found, but you better believe it's good to find others. So if you are, let's say, a B2B business, it's still H to H, I think, but if you're working business to business, you could go and click on that geotag, especially if it's another business, right? And you can see everyone that has tagged that particular business. If you are business to consumer, then everybody that has tagged in that geotag area, Aurora or Newmarket or York Region or any area, you now know that that person has tagged that area, that they either live there or they've been visiting that area. If you are a restaurant or a martial arts studio or a very specific geographic location, you want to find people that are in that general area. So if you click on that geotag, all the posts come up of people that have posted and tagged that area. So that's where you can start interacting with people. And so what you're doing is you're saying, all of these people came to the same networking event, and I'm going to go talk to all of them in that short amount of time. I'm going to do it every day if you want to, but you can do it as often as you want. I'll get into the really proactive side of community management in a second too, because it's one of those things that not a lot of businesses do. And it's a big missed opportunity for sure. You can also go live. So again, these are tactics to create awareness and more visible eyeballs on your content, as well as your social media platforms. So by going live you can do it on YouTube, you can do it on Instagram, Facebook. You have to apply to go live on LinkedIn, but most people do get approved, but you have to apply. All the other platforms are available for us for free. So if you go live on Instagram, for instance, or Facebook, everyone that's currently online at that time that's following you will get a notification saying that you're going live. You can also do a full pre-plan around going live. So if you're doing like a product launch, or if you're doing something on a specific day and time, like maybe you go live every week and you do Q&A, or you can showcase a new product or service, that type of content will be seen right away by everyone that's currently following you and that online at that time. So really, it's a good opportunity when you go live on Instagram, even if you don't actually go live, when you go live, you just swipe over when you're on your camera area, you swipe over and on Instagram. So let me just see if I don't think I'll be able to show you. I think it'll go blurry. Yeah, it'll go blurry. So when you're on your timeline itself and you swipe over to the right, this is not Tinder, it's totally safe. So you swipe over and your camera pops up and you're like, oh, I have 3 chins. And then you look at the bottom and it says post, story, reels, live. Okay, so let me just click on that for a sec. So when I clicked over to live on Instagram, I see that 50 of my followers are currently active right now, like right now at this very second. So I could go live right now and 50 people will get a notification. If you keep checking through, like if you want to just test this out, like maybe you're just very curious, test it out different times of the day and see when your people are most active. That might be a good idea to go, you know what, Monday mornings or Tuesday at 2 o'clock, because we're going to stay on that trend. Tuesday at 2 o'clock, we will go live because that's when people are most active. That is when you want to get your most valuable content out. So again, you can go live on all these platforms. Instagram does show you that opportunity, so it's a pretty cool tool for us to use. Facebook groups. So have you ever posted stuff on Facebook and nothing ever happens and you're like, Facebook's horrible? Yeah, same. It's not great for sure. It's really great for ads. Fantastic. They'll take all your money. They don't care. The one way, there's two ways that you can technically use Facebook effectively. And one is through, if you are a business to business, so B2B company, you can follow business pages as your business page. And then you can use Facebook like you normally use it right now for your personal timeline. You can go onto your business page, and you can do this through Creator Studio. You go to your business page and it'll show you the timeline. So not your friend stuff anymore. It's only the timeline of the business pages that you follow. So if you're B2B and you want to follow all of your potential clients on Facebook, you can do that. And then you can start interacting with them. So when you see your timeline, there's no longer the food pictures and the babies and all the people that you're connected with, your friends. It's now just the pages that you follow. So you can interact with it that way. If you're a B2C, no chance. There's no chance, except for, wait for it, Facebook groups. And that's it. So you either pay for it or you go into Facebook groups. And you can use Facebook groups as a business to business as well as a B2C. Facebook groups, you have to decide if you want to join a Facebook group as you personally. So some are like good for B2B. There's lots of businesses in these groups, and you can join as your business page. If you join as your business page, I'd recommend to go back and join as a personal as well. That way you can pick and choose when you post in that group, or if you're interacting with people in that group, that you can choose whether to interact as yourself or as your business, or both. You can actually switch back and forth. So Facebook groups are good for awareness. There's a lot of garbage on Facebook right now, and a lot of, behind the screen vigilantes that's happening right now. So, Facebook is a little bit toxic in my opinion. So I'd say go to the groups if you feel comfortable enough doing that. There is a lot of backlash. There's a lot of weird stuff in Facebook groups. So I tend to avoid some of them, but there's a lot of the business groups that are actually really fantastic. So check those out and look for your geographic location or a topic of interest. So there's a lot of like women in business groups, for instance, really fantastic, very supportive. I'd recommend joining stuff like that, or a specific niche. There's like, how do you do Facebook ads? There's WordPress groups out there. There's tons of them on there. Just be careful when you get there. Use your own discretion. Oh, that was weird. So next up, strategic partnerships. So raise a hand or in the on the chats. Who is working with a referral partner or a strategic partnership that they have created? Tell me in the group so you can say yes, or you can say no. Are you working with strategic partnerships right now? Do you have partners? Everyone's like, I don't want to say it. Thanks, Beth. So, okay. So yes, no, yes, with a PR company. Good, good, good. That went really quick. Yes and no. Okay. So for us that are working with strategic partners, kind of, not strong yet. Ooh, okay, Carrie, I got you. So when it comes to strategic partnerships, there is a mutual conversation that has to happen that has a very specific, I'm going to say agreement. I'm not going to say contract. I'm going to say agreement. So what happened at the beginning when I started my business 8 years ago, and prior to that, I've been in this industry for about 25 years, sales and marketing and managing people and doing, my bio is crazy. So prior to me opening my own business, I knew that relationships were the biggest component to grow any business. Relationships, building relationships. I feel like when I build a strategic partnership or relationship, I'm already like their friend. And that probably is some sort of like problem on my side. I'm like, we're best friends now. I won't go to like Christmas parties and stuff, but like, I feel like I'm friends with everyone. So when I build a relationship, it's got to be mutual. You want to find someone that works similar industries or similar clients or customers. So those partnerships have to be mutually beneficial. So a lot of the time people will refer people over to me and I'll go, oh, I don't want a referral fee. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm like, no, but I give 10%. This is what it is. You've referred someone over to me. I really appreciate it. I know you wouldn't refer if you didn't think we'd take care of them, but let's make this official. Like, you're sending people over. Let's make this official. So some people will say, okay, fine. Just, send me the 10%. And some people will say, you know what, just donate it. And that is music to my ears. So I have partnerships through other not-for-profits and charities that we would send that money to. So that feels good on a business level. I have strategic partnerships that, I give them 10%, they're salespeople, that's what they do, or they donate it over to another agency or like a not-for-profit. So the partnerships, I was mentioning about the referral deck. You can make it official like that. You can say, just so you know, we have the same type of clients. I think that we could actually help them bigger and better if we do this together. If I have someone that needs your services or products, I will definitely refer them over to you. I think your stuff's phenomenal. And then if the other person says, that's fantastic, and that's it, that just means that they're going to refer people, or you're going to refer to them, and they're going to give you money or a referral bonus or a gift basket or something in return. If it's a mutual partnership and you want to refer back and forth, that becomes another level of nurturing. So you want to be able to help nurture those relationships and make it top of mind and help them in the sales process. So the way that we do social media is very unique, and we'll go into the whole community management aspect of it. And so when we talk to our referral partners, they're just like someone does SEO, someone will, or search engine optimization, someone else does just ads, someone else does website design development. They don't have anyone on their team that they've brought on to take care of social media, for instance. So they would work with an agency like ours and either white label it. So they would come on and say, I need you guys to work under our brand, and you're going to fulfill the jobs, and you're going to have an email address under our name. Cool, great, no problem. As a great referral partner for us. If they say, you know what, you're just a partner, I can't handle this, I'm not doing project management, we're just going to refer right over to you and then just give me a kickback. Cool, no problem. We'll do that too. So the relationship really depends on the motivation between both partners. And one thing that I'm not so much a fan of, and again, this is a disclaimer on my part, this is my experience only, are like the business referral network type of things. So I don't want to refer to someone that I don't necessarily trust fully into taking care of my clients, because it really is like, this is a very personal for me. So I would only really want to refer back and forth to people that I know will have everyone's best interest in mind. And it's not just like tit for tat, like I give you a client, you give me a client. We don't do that. So referral partners and strategic partnerships, if you lead with that, if you're always looking for partnerships and referral partners, you will be, in my opinion, a very successful business and have to do less on the sales and the marketing side of things, because they already have this vast amount of people that are already technically selling and working for you and just educating people on your behalf. So you're allowing them to sell on your behalf. And it's just a quick email that gets sent. You guys are connected. And now they've referred someone over to you and you're taking it over from there. So just consider strategic partnerships. Like I preach about it all the time. I think it's one of the best ways to market, especially if you're nurturing them. And there's a very clear, outline of what is expected from both parties. And if you're noticing they're just sending you a lot of bad clients and you're just like, nothing's closing, like it, thanks anyway, but it's kind of like wasting our time. Go back to them and educate them on your services. Maybe there's certain keywords that you can tell them to look out for, or types of business that you don't want to work with. And that's okay too. You're allowed to pick and choose who you want to work with. Just, you guys know that. So when it comes to strategic partnerships, I think that's a phenomenal idea and I think you should do it. Let's talk about community management. This is the last part of it that I know this is what makes us special. We have a full training program for our team members when we bring on social media managers, because most social media managers that we work with, they do content, right? So it's a content driven, they have communications background, they have the idea around reactive community management, but this is like next level. So when you go to the Instagram workshop, you'll see the depth of community management and how it can make a huge impact and difference in your communication online. So if you're treating it like a conversation starter, you're going to win. If you're treating it like a sales platform, you're not going to win. Okay, so let's consider that. So on an organic level, we want to humanize social media. And by doing that, you have awesome content. Post the content. So you have a mixture of the 3 E's, which we talked about in the Instagram one. So you have educational content, you have entertaining content, and you have engaging content. Then you're allowed to sell and promote. If you're constantly selling and promoting, it goes back to that networking situation of like, I'm Holly, I sell websites, do you want to buy one? Okay, so the same kind of idea online. People are online, you can start conversations. It is the best conversation starter. So community management is all about building an engaged following and platforms such as blah, blah, blah. The key to creating a strong social media community is to humanize your business or brand online. So when people meet you in person, you've humanized it already. What happens online, I don't know. I don't understand what happens online when people don't take that same idea and just turn it into an online platform. You're just networking. That's all it is. So you have content. So you're gonna be like, oh, this checklist. No, but this checklist will massively increase your success using social media platforms. Community management to us is two-pronged. One is reactive and one is proactive. Some people will do the reactive one. That's cool. But what is mostly missing is the proactive. And it is definitely a game changer. When you do this, you'll see a massive increase of engagement, of followers, of conversations. You'll see it. You'll just see. Just tell me when you see it. Okay. Just message me on social media. So the first thing you want to do in the reactive sense is that you want to monitor your accounts. So you're going to respond to your comments. So that's being reactive, remember. You're going to hide vulgar comments, reputation management. So if there's someone swearing or just spam or anything like that, you're going to delete the spam. It's all crap. You're going to answer questions about your product or services. So you're doing phenomenal customer service using a social platform tool. It's available to us for that. So I know one lady I buy charcuterie boards from, she only messages through Instagram. Like everyone just messages, hey, I want to buy this. Hey, I want this. When's pickup? Blah, blah, blah. So she uses a phenomenal job on using Instagram as a customer service tool. And it's immediate. You can get notifications too. So you respond to Google reviews. Yes, even the bad ones. You can, if there's ones that are completely inappropriate, you can flag them and get them deleted. You reply to your direct messages on all platforms and you delete the spam. So that's just reactive. That's just cleaning up at that point. And you want to really make sure that the people that are taking the time to respond to you or ask questions, that you've heard them and that you've answered them. If you're noticing the same questions being asked over and over, that might be a good indication that you can create content from those questions. So just keep that in mind as people asking questions. If they even ask once, that could be an opportunity for you to create a video or a post around answering that specific question. Now for the proactive. Drum roll, please. So, game changer. Proactive community management is finding your audience online, and I have a spelling error, oof, and star saying hi. Ugh, that just made me cringe. Oh, and star engaging. Oh, I will fix that. I apologize. Don't think anything less of me, I promise. I know what I'm saying. So find your audience online through things like geotags and hashtags. You can even go to your competition and find people that are engaging on their posts. You can even go, like you can check out the local area, the library, the restaurants, and see who's engaging mostly on that content as well. So if you think about your audience, what would they what would they post about? So what you want to do is you want to just let them know that you exist. They didn't know, you're waiting for people to come. If I post it, they will come. It doesn't happen on social media. You want to start engaging conversations. So you can go and like their post. So you can just go and like it. That's it. You can comment on their post if you want to take that next level. If you want to comment on their post, I recommend asking a human question, and it's something that will trigger them to respond back. So you're starting conversations, remember. So think of yourself almost as like a podcast host. You want to ask a question, you want to get an answer. That conversation that you just started would never happen if you didn't do community management. You would never meet another person if you never went to a networking event. You would never, all these opportunities are here for us. Use them. So you can comment on their post. You can comment in groups. So LinkedIn and Facebook have groups. And again, that other proactive direction. Respond to Instagram stickers. We talked about those stickers on stories. When you're responding to Instagram engagement stickers, they get a notification. They now remember you. They now know who you are. And you can also, if you wanted to, send a direct message to your audience and your potential strategic partners. So if you're thinking about this in the client perspective and customer perspective, these all are still relevant. If you're thinking about it in the strategic partnerships and referral partner, this is all still relevant. They're all on social. Chat, say hello. It's super easy for us to do that. Just maybe not have thought about it. Maybe don't have time for it. Carve a minute out of your day and try it. Let's see what happens. And then you're going to report back. Like, I'm not giving you homework really, but in a couple of weeks after you've tried the stuff, if you want to reach back out and say, I tried it, it's phenomenal. I got 10 conversations started. That's more than you had yesterday. So really, when it comes to community management, you want to be a real person, remember. The reason that the word social is in social media is it's there for a reason. They want you to be social. We just might not have known how to utilize the platforms as much. If someone comments, you want to thank them and then maybe ask them a question to get that engagement going. If you like something you see online, or if it's a potential client or a potential referral partner, show them some love, like their stuff, even share it in stories just for fun. Attract your ideal customer by commenting on their post or referral partner, and do not automate this. So this really has to be as human as possible. Take your time and it'll connect and it'll definitely pay off. So community management, sending direct messages might be overplayed, but if you guys have followed me on social media, Creative Solutions HQ, then we have sent you a video. And so in the direct messages, you can send a video or a welcome letter or anything like that. You can send links, anything like that on Instagram's direct messaging. We get a lot of people responding to our question in the direct message. So once we send the direct message, it's just really fun. It just asks a very specific question. We have about 85% respond rate based on that. And then that's where the conversations happen. You'll probably see a lot of DMs, direct messages that have like, "Hi, thank you for following and check out my website." And you're like, what? No. But if they asked you a very specific question, especially a video one, you're probably more likely to answer. So just give that a try. Why not? Thank everybody that's followed you. All right, guys. So we're going to bring this back over to our Q&A time. I do see some stuff in the messages here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to blow you guys up here. I'm going to go through the questions. If you guys have specific questions that you want to ask on camera or on your, undo your microphone, come on and just ask away. You can raise your hand as well if you'd like, if you're not, there's too many people asking. Okay, let's go through some questions here. I have websites. I have, does Wise Tree work with, Wise Stamp. So Robin, it was Wise Stamp. Yes, it does work with Outlook. Oh, David, good job on mentioning AppSumo. AppSumo is a really cool website that allows you to like buy into a program when it's in beta phase or if they've just launched. I've bought, actually Planable was one of the scheduling tools that I use. Planable I bought on AppSumo for cheap, and now it's worth millions. It's amazing. So yeah, go to AppSumo. Very, very good, David. So we're okay. This is all the questions. Let me see. Anyone have any specific questions that they want to come on to their microphone? Yes, Peter. Oh, sorry, Carrie. You next.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I have a question. Just I'm kind of, so I had a business a few years ago and I was on trying to figure out back then the Facebook ads manager. And then when I launched this one last year, it seemed like it was Facebook business manager. And now you're saying it's Facebook creator. Is this like, do I have to change over again, or does it automatically kind of go over and that's what it's called? I just don't see it called that when I'm trying to get on that now.
I know, it's so annoying. So Peter, you were on mute, so we will come back to you for a second. Sorry, we didn't hear you speaking.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I was looking at his face. I'm like, I see you talking. So with Carrie, sorry. Yes, it's totally separate. Where'd you go? There. So that's totally separate. So business manager will still have a lot of the information and it'll, show you your ads manager and all that kind of stuff. So Creator Studio is where you go to like schedule stuff. I don't know if they plan on changing everything and merging it all. Like Facebook changes things every day.
Okay.
So Creator Studio will be separate. You can't, like in Business Manager, you can't like schedule anything. It's not for creatives. It's for like the hard. Oh, I hate Business Studio. So yeah. I would say Creator Studio, when you go to my link, if you just Google like Facebook Creator Studio, it'll bring you to a totally different area.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because it's really confusing to me and it changed from ads manager. And then I was like, okay, and I was just confused and I think I could schedule us on this one. So maybe I'm in it and don't even know it. I don't know. I'm trying to learn it.
It could be. Facebook changes literally daily. So
yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, check it out. See what you can do on what you're seeing currently. And if you're able to schedule some stuff.
Okay.
All right. Peter, over to you.
From a strategic point of view, one of our biggest successes is establishing volunteer advisory boards. And with our organization, we have 3 volunteer advisory boards, 5 on each. And we're able to send out a profile of our organization together with the newsletter, and ask those advisory board members to forward it on to their network. And that's been very successful.
I love it. And you can actually do that. So if you take that into a different type of business setting, you could have those types of advisory boards or strategic partner groups. And so we used to actually have that on Twitter. I used to love Twitter. I created a list with all of our partners and people that would just share information. It would be useful for everyone's audiences. And so every time you see a post come out, you would actually reshare it. And I would go through that every day and share everyone's content. And then be groups of us that we would be like, I just posted this, can you, and then put the link in the group and ask them to reshare it as well. And so if you have staff, if you have bigger, referral partner groups like that, highly recommend utilizing them. Absolutely. And not all the time, because you don't want to saturate too much. But when you're ready, when you think it's something worthwhile of sharing, absolutely ask. That's a great point.
Well, we have our meetings once a month for 30 minutes on Zoom, and to deal with a problem or an opportunity, and it makes a real difference.
That's awesome. I think everyone should have that. Thanks for chiming in. We have Melissa. Melissa's up next.
Holly, thank you. Hi, Holly. Thank you so very much. I appreciate all of your tips. I've been listening, and definitely deer in the headlights because there's so much information. My question is in regards to best practices when it comes to tagging. So the business that I help with social media on, I'm trying to get more attention to it. So I was wondering if I could tag, best practices for tagging.
Yeah, so again, this is my personal opinion and take it with a grain of salt. I personally feel that tagging companies that don't expect you to tag them is completely immoral. I'm sorry. Don't come at me. What happens is if you are on Instagram and you tag them in the picture itself, okay? So you hit edit and you hit the tag and the picture's tagged. That picture will show up on their timeline. So when you go to Instagram, there's 3 options for you to choose to view. So if I'm going to go to anyone's, I'll go to the Aurora Chambers account, for instance. You can see the grid. And then if I go over to this little tagging thing, you can't see it, I'm sure, it'll go all blurry. This little tag thing. I'm seeing all the tagged posts that someone tagged Creative Solutions, for instance. I'm on my account. I can see all the ones that have been tagged with the Aurora Chamber if I'm on their account. If I'm on your account, I can see all the ones that someone tagged you. If I do not want to be tagged in that, and I don't think it's relevant for my business, I'm going to actually untag it and possibly flag it. So a lot of people used to tag BlogTO and Our City and all of those bigger companies, and it would show up on their timeline. And that's not something an organization would want, so they would untag it. The other option, Melissa, is if you tag someone in the actual caption, like above or below the hashtags, that technically will show up as a notification for them. Or if you tag them in a comment, they may or may not get annoyed with that. So best practices on my point of view is to ask for permission and see if they'd be a partner in that suggestion that they could then share to stories. So you're asking permission. I wouldn't just tag haphazardly, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Sorry. Do you still love me?
Thank you.
Okay,
Well, like for example, like Experience York Region. Wonderful. So it's if we have an event going on, something of that sort, like an FYI, just to spread the word kind of thing. But you're saying to ask permission first. Thank you.
I would ask permission. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you're like with this one, for instance, if you want to tag the Aurora Chamber and the Business Accelerator, that's fine because you're part of it. But if you're posting something and you're not a member of the chamber, or like, let's say you posted something and you tagged every chamber in all of York Region, they might be like, who are you? You're not even a member. I don't know why you're tagging us, right? I mean, again, if they encourage that, do it. If they don't, no. So I would just ask permission. Yes, Carrie. Oh, and then Shauna.
Oh, Shauna, go ahead. I've already asked for that.
I was just going to throw in an FYI, if you are a member of the chamber, go ahead and tag us and we will repost your posts. So all day long, tag Chamber, we will share your stories.
Absolutely.
That's great. No, so I just have a question about the geotagging that you're talking about. So I love that you brought it up because I wasn't really aware of it. Would it be relevant to my kind of business when I'm like, so I'm online with students, so it really doesn't matter where we are, but I do think there's definitely an affinity to people being like in your, like I could see people being more, if people were searching like an educational consultant in York region, I would want to be able to show up, right? Because I'm here and there's not that many of us here. So like, should I still do it? Do you think, put it in there, even though I don't really have a physical location that people have to go to?
That's a really good question. A lot of people ask that question actually. So physical location, you should put it in regardless, right? So you either have your business location or just the geographic area. You can keep going back and forth. That's a physical location. If you don't have a physical location and you can help people worldwide, then you could, depending on your tactic behind it, you could put a different state, a different city, a different area on each post. Like you can keep changing it so that they know that you're worldwide. If you're region wide, put the region. So what we would do, for instance, is like we are worldwide, but we would post stuff like Aurora, Newmarket, Georgina, Sutton, that, you know what I mean? Like on each post, it would be different so that we're just showing that we can cater to anyone in the area. On the community management side, then you would want to search, again, if it's a geographic location, search the area by using the geotags that they have posted on their own post. So the tactic behind yours, it might not matter for sure. Why it's sometimes beneficial is if you don't, in your bio, like let's say you only work with Canadians, and in your bio, it doesn't say anything about Canada. Anyone that's in the States automatically assumes that 100% of the content on social media is in the States. It's like, it's a fun thing that happens. Us Canadians, we always assume that it's probably in the States or somewhere else. Like we literally have that going through our head. So in a bio, like if it's a real estate agent that follows me on social media and nowhere does it say that they are in very specifically York region, I would be like, where are you? And I'd go to a couple posts and find out that they're in California. And I'm like, why did you follow me? Like, why are you interacting with me? I'm not moving to California. So that's another identifier or indicator, like which area that you serve. So choose yourself on which one you think would be useful or not. Like if you want to put that area there, great. You could also just put hashtags as a geographic location as well.
Well, that's a good idea too. Okay.
Yeah. We have time for 0 more questions. So I'll hand it back over to either Sandra or Shauna. I think Sandra. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. My microphone is working this week.
You're perfect.
So thank you again, Holly, not only for this fabulous session, but the last 3 weeks. So I know a lot of folks did participate in all 4 weeks. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I will be sending out Holly's slides and a link to the presentation. Hopefully end of day, maybe tomorrow. I wanted everybody else to know that our next series is starting next Tuesday. And that series will focus on websites and content. So our guest speaker is Tracy Smith, and she's the founder of Kitchen Table CEOs. So you can go to our website, aurorachamber.on.ca, and sign up for one or any of those other sessions. So we look forward to seeing everybody again, and I hope everybody has a fabulous day. And thank you again, Holly. We really appreciate it. You've been great.
Thank you guys. Appreciate for you showing up.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Holly.
Bye.
Bye-bye.